Hello guys, I hope you all are doing good. I am Vaishali Kikan and we are discussing the optical communication. Today in this video, we are going to talk about the overall dispersion in the single mode fibers. I hope you all have seen the previous video where I discussed about the introduction to the dispersion. Then we talked about the multi-mode step index fiber and the dispersion in it. And then we talked about the multi-mode graded index fiber and the dispersion in it. So today we are focusing our discussion on the overall dispersion. As of now, if you have still not watched the previous video and if you don't know anything about the dispersion, it is highly recommended that you go back, watch the previous videos first and then come to this video. So let's start our discussion for today. So we are going to talk about the overall dispersion in the single mode fiber. So from the name of the topic, one thing is confirmed that we have only one mode. So it is the single mode fiber that we have. When we have more than one mode, there would be the possibility of intermodal dispersion. But when we have only one mode, the possibility of intermodal dispersion would be negligible. So in this case, I can say there would be only chromatic or intramodal dispersion. In the chromatic dispersion, we have talked about the material and the waveguide dispersion. So here in the standard single mode fiber, the total dispersion is mainly dominated by the material dispersion only. Right, so we are going to verify it with the various practical scenarios also in this video. So I hope as of now you understand what is material dispersion, what is waveguide dispersion, right, and what is chromatic dispersion, of course. So now in the intramodal dispersion we have the dispersion in the single mode fiber, right, but I don't have intermodal dispersion. I hope you understand why I am saying so, why I am saying that I don't have intermodal dispersion. All of you must be having the answer to this question. So now we will be having the pulse broadening in the single mode fiber mainly due to the chromatic or intramodal dispersion, right? So now the bandwidth is limited by the finite spectral width of the source. We have two types of source, LED and laser. So let's suppose this is my LED. The spectral width is given by the width of the different light component. So let's suppose this is the spectral width. I am denoting it with WE of LED, and now here this is the spectral width of the laser, which is very less, which is I am denoting with WL. So you can see the spectral width of the laser is very much less as compared to the spectral width of the LED. So the bandwidth is dependent upon the spectral width. So when I have high bandwidth, I would be having high information carrying capacity of the channel, and this is the reason I am focusing upon the bandwidth. So the transit time, I can denote the transit time with the group delay, right? So what is group delay? It is denoted by tau g. So it is computed for the light pulse propagating along the unit length of the fiber, and it is denoted by 1 upon c d beta upon dk. What is beta? Beta is a propagation constant in the core. What is the refractive index of the core? That is N1. So I can say beta is a propagation constant in N1 and K is the propagation constant in vacuum. So this is how I can denote the transit time or the group delay, right? So now first order dispersion parameter is given by dt. Right, so dt is telling me how much dispersion would be there for the first order mode. So now here dt is d tau g upon d lambda. When I differentiate this tau g or the transit time with respect to the wavelength, I will be getting the dispersion, that is the first order dispersion, right? So now when lambda is replaced by omega, now I know omega is 2 pi lambda. Right, so this is how I have the relation in between omega and lambda, and I know beta is 2 pi upon lambda. So now we can find out dt as minus omega upon lambda d tau g upon d omega, right? So which can be simplified and written down as minus omega upon lambda d square beta upon d omega square. Now here if I simplify this equation, there would be three composite dispersion components, right? So I have three components inside the single mode optical fiber, which is the reason or the cause for the dispersion. The first cause would be the material dispersion, right? So in the material dispersion we have dm would be equal to lambda upon c d square n upon d lambda square. We have talked about this equation also when I was talking about the material dispersion. So the first parameter that is causing the dispersion is the material dispersion parameter. Second parameter is the waveguide dispersion. So it is denoted as dw, which is n1 minus n2 upon lambda c minus multiplied with vd square vb upon dv square, so where v is the normalized frequency, b is the propagation constant for the fiber, and now here we have the beta in the terms of b as well. So what is beta? Propagation constant in core, and b is the propagation constant for the specific fiber, specific optical fiber. So beta would be kn1 1 minus 2 delta. Delta is the relative refractive index 1 minus b and whole under root. So now this is the relation that we have to remember, and now when I see this parameter I can conclude one thing, that d square vb upon dv square is the concluding parameter which is telling me what amount of waveguide dispersion would be there inside the given single mode optical fiber, right? So now coming to the profile dispersion, the third type of parameter for the dispersion would be the profile dispersion parameter, which is directly proportional to the d of delta upon d of lambda. So it is the proportional to the derivative of the relative refractive index with respect to the wavelength, and this is how I can find out the profile dispersion. But the profile dispersion for single mode fibers is approximately negligible. We are not considering it in the practical scenario, and mostly we are considering the material and the waveguide dispersion only, and with the graphs also I am just showing you the material and the waveguide dispersion only. So the total first order dispersion, the practical single mode fiber, right? So this is the theoretical value. So dt would be material dispersion plus waveguide dispersion plus profile dispersion, but we are neglecting the profile dispersion, and it is having the unit picosecond per nanometer per kilometer. So now here we have this unit, and now this is the diagram for the different core radius of the given optical fiber. So now this is the total intramodal dispersion that we have. Okay, so total intramodal dispersion will be 0 at a particular value. You can see it. So now it is negative before that and positive after that. So you can see here at this point I will be getting lambda for 0 dispersion, and this is the overall dispersion. So this is how I will be having the dispersion for 4 micrometer optical radius, right? Then this is the core radius only, right? Okay, so here the 4 micrometer, 5 micrometer and the 6 micrometer, you can see as I am increasing the core radius I would be having more dispersion, right? So now the total RMS pulse broadening is given by sigma lambda into L d tau g upon d lambda. So from here I can say that if I increase L, which means the broadening will increase, right? Which means the dispersion is going to increase, and again I can represent it as sigma lambda L 2 pi upon c lambda square d square beta upon dk square. So it depends upon the propagation constant in the core as well. So I have already told you we have in the single mode optical fiber I will be having the more dispersion due to the material dispersion. It is dominating the waveguide dispersion. So now I have to find out the 0 material dispersion point. So the zero material dispersion point, what it is? The zero material dispersion point or ZMD point is calculated when the material dispersion is going to be zero. So you can see over here, this is the material dispersion graph in the black. Here we have the wavelength and this is my dispersion. So the material dispersion is going to become zero at this point, and you can see it is the point which is 1.27 micrometer. So at 1.27 micrometer wavelength, I will be having the zero dispersion. Okay, so now you can see here we have the two suitable dopants also. If I put the suitable dopants inside the optical fiber, it is going to shift the ZMD point between the 1.2 to 1.4 micrometer. So if I want to operate with a different wavelength, what I can do? I can dope my optical fiber with a suitable dopant, right? If you want to work with a lower wavelength than this, you have to dope it, right? So if you dope it with germanium, you will be having the dopant concentration of higher germanium inside the optical fiber, which is going to increase the ZMD point. So it would be around 1.3. Okay, so this is how we can change the ZMD point, or we can shift the graph, right? So we are going to talk about the shifting of the graph or the flattening of the graph in the next video. I hope you are joining me in that. So here you can see this is my waveguide dispersion. Again, the waveguide dispersion will be having the 0 point at this point, and you can see if I operate in this bandwidth, so here or this bandwidth, I would be having the lesser amount of waveguide and the material dispersion. So now when I combined both, I will be getting the overall dispersion. So okay, this is actually my material dispersion and this is my overall dispersion. So when I have combined the waveguide dispersion and the material dispersion, here this blue graph represents the overall dispersion. So I will be operating in this narrow window only, and this is how I can reduce my wavelength to a specific amount. Okay, so now I have to reduce the bandwidth also. In this bandwidth only I will be getting the lowest dispersion. If I increase the bandwidth, here if you can see, if I increase the bandwidth, the dispersion would be very significant, and this is the reason we are working on a very small bandwidth, and this is the reason channel capacity is limited. So in the next video we are going to see how we can overcome this thing, how we can change some things in our optical fiber to make it less prone to the dispersion, or we can increase the bandwidth. So how we are doing that? So let's join me in the next video where I'm going to talk about it. So I hope you understood each and everything that I discussed in this video. If you have any further doubt, you can put the doubt in the comment and I will be trying to resolve your doubt as soon as possible. I hope you like this session. If you like it, please push the like button, subscribe to the channel, give me your feedback and share it with your friends. Thank you so much.